This is Babylon, the greatest empire of its time, a land of power, pride, and gold. And over it all ruled King Nebuchadnezzar, a man whose desire for worship would soon test the faith of 3 servants of God. One morning, a royal command was announced across the kingdom.
People of every nation and language, the king has built a giant statue of gold. When the music plays, everyone must bow and worship it. Anyone who refuses will be thrown into a blazing furnace.
The statue was huge, 90 feet high, a mountain of gold, built to glorify the king.
Let all nations bow to my image. Let them honor Babylon's power. I am King Nebuchadnezzar. There is no other king beside me.
But standing in the crowd were 3 Hebrew men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
We bow only to the Lord. No image deserves our worship. No image deserves our worship.
Faithful servants of God.
We will stand, no matter the cost.
They knew they could never bow to an idol. When the music began, everyone kneeled. The entire crowd dropped to the ground, bowing deeply. Everyone bowed, except the 3 men of God. A guard notices them and frowns. Their courage was seen, and their stand would soon reach the ears of the king himself. Jealous men, officials of Babylon, watched this closely.
They're not bowing. Those 3 men are defying the king.
Are they not afraid of King Nebuchadnezzar? I saw them with my eyes, those Hebrews. They did not bow.
King Nebuchadnezzar must hear this.
They refuse to bow. We must report them.
They rushed to the king with their accusation.
O king, live forever.
3 Jews, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
They refuse to worship your golden statue.
When the king heard the accusation, his anger rose quickly.
You dare defy me! Bring them to me! Now!
The king's anger began to rise like fire. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were taken from the crowd and brought straight into the king's throne room. He could not believe anyone would dare reject his command.
Is it true? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego! You do not serve my gods or worship the golden statue I have set up.
I will give you one more chance. When you hear the music again,
Bow down and worship my statue. If you refuse, you will be thrown at once into a blazing furnace. And then, what God will be able to save you from my hand?
But the 3 men of God answered him without fear.
O king, we don't need to defend ourselves before you. If we are thrown into the furnace, the God we serve is able to save us. And even if he does not, we still will not worship your statue.
The king believed no power was greater than his own.
Heat the furnace 7 times hotter! Bind them! Throw them in!
Strong and unshakable, the king's pride was shattered.
The king saw what no eye should ever witness, a 4th figure walking with them, untouched by the flames. Even the king's guards could not stand the sight. Fear, awe, and disbelief swept through their hearts, bound, yet unafraid. Their faith burned brighter than the fire before them. The king's eyes could not believe what they saw. The flames roared, yet the Hebrews walked unharmed. And there was another, a divine figure among them. God himself walked with them, a presence no fire could burn, a glory no flame could destroy.
We trust in the Almighty who delivers us, and because God has delivered us, He walks with us in the fire.
And we will not bow to false gods.
I see 4 men loose, walking in the midst of the fire.
Faith is strongest when tested by fire. Their trust became their shield, their courage became their witness. The king realized then that true power does not reside in gold or kings, but in God himself. The fire that should have consumed them became their triumph. God had delivered his faithful servants. The people saw what no one could explain. God's power was real, and his servants were faithful. Nebuchadnezzar, once proud and furious, now bowed in awe. He had witnessed a power greater than his own.
Blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego,
Who sent his angel and delivered his servants who trusted him. Hear ye, all who are gathered. I proclaim,
No one should speak against the God of Israel, for his power and faithfulness are unmatched.
no other God could save like the God of Israel.
The king proclaimed loudly, so all could hear, no God could save like the God of Israel. Fear and awe filled the hearts of the people. They witnessed a miracle, and their respect for God grew. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were honored, not for power or pride, but for unwavering faith and obedience. A decree was sent across Babylon. No one should speak against the God of Israel, for his power and faithfulness are unmatched. Peace returned to the city, the fear of God replaced fear of men, and faith became a living example for all. The furnace that was meant to destroy became a witness of life, and God's name was glorified across Babylon. Faith does not end in a miracle. It guides our actions. The Hebrews' courage now influenced every corner of Babylon, from the palace halls to the streets below. From the palace to the streets, whispers of the miracle spread. People spoke of the God who walks with his people through fire. Even the wisest scholars could not explain it. Arguments rose and fell, yet all agreed on one truth: God's power is supreme. The story traveled from elders to the young. Every child learned of a God who walks with his people, even in the fire.
The slave gave up on his power, but not the labor, does not labor.
God had proven himself faithful. The fire that was meant to destroy became a witness of life, and the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego inspired all who saw it. The king's pride had been humbled. He had witnessed a power far beyond his own, a God whose glory cannot be challenged. Faith becomes a light for others. Integrity, courage, and trust in God spread through the hearts of those around them.
The God of Israel is truly mighty. His power cannot be resisted. Let all men know that no fire can consume those who trust him.
The courage of a few became a story for all ages. Even children learned that faith is stronger than fear. Faith does not demand attention, it earns respect. The people honored what they could not explain, and they bowed to the God who saves. Songs of joy echoed through Babylon. The people celebrated faith, courage, and the God who walks with his own. Stories of faith are meant to be shared. Wisdom flows from one generation to the next, and courage is remembered forever. Faith is contagious. When witnessed, it spreads quietly, transforming hearts and communities. Faith leaves a mark that time cannot erase. The Hebrews' courage inspired not just a king, but a kingdom, teaching all that God is greater than every trial. Their story would be written, remembered, and shared. Faith that withstands fire becomes a lesson for all who come after. The sun set on Babylon, but the light of their faith shone brighter than any flame.